Alright, so it's not raining today very much, and the sun is kind of out, and I'm attempting to dry everything. I mean, as much as I can. This blanket is huge, and it's a very beautiful multi-purpose. I was using it as kind of like the final couch cushion, and now it's soaked, and there's not really a way to dry it. I can't even hang it inside. It's freaking massive and heavy, and it just keeps dripping rain. I've got some shirts that I washed the other day, and they don't smell too bad yet. And inside, it's really chaos, you know. It's so chaotic in here right now. Everything's just kind of all over the place, and my motivation's suffering. If the sun would come out, I would have more motivation, you know, like if I just had some sunlight. I've become very solar powered, and that's why I like to wake up early, because the sun is up, and I go to sleep early because the sun is gone. But in this instance, my solar powered abilities are really being affected. You know, I can't get a full battery charge, and the sea is still super high. I can't believe how high the sea is right now. But now I think the thing to do is a bit of yoga. Oh, this spaceship of mine is on life support. windy is not there's like no comfort in my salon, or however you want to call it, my living room, because it's covered with tarps, and in the wind they just flap. I think I looked, and I mean, some of the estimates for today's wind was 40 or 45 kilometers per hour, a really substantial speed, and it's like, it's so incredibly windy and blowing rain, and all of my firewood is a bit wet, which is no problem. I can start a fire with some candles and some paper, and once the fire is going I can dry other wood and use it, because most of it's just like superficially wet. Well, I mean, it's definitely not boring. My perspective is informed by moving in between different spaces and seeing the trends, and especially like my observations of authoritarianism and what we could call fascism, or I mean, we could call it all kinds of names, but let's say that I noticed a trend from all the different countries I visit, that basically every country has leadership that is super moving in authoritarian directions, and this is really disconcerting to me. But you know, I'm gonna be really careful and not subscribe to any conspiracy theories. I mean, you have to make your own conclusions about what's going on, but I can't say that people in power do whatever they can to maintain or increase their power. I mean, power is an addictive drug, similar to money or cocaine, I guess you could say. People's addiction to power is it's like addictions of anything. You know, when you don't have it, you're fine, and then you have a little bit, and this is great. It feels like a lot. But then when you're used to that little bit, that becomes the baseline, and you need an increase to keep the same good feeling that you first had, and this continues and continues, and any drop from that is like pain. It's painful. We see this with relationships. If you have a close relationship with someone and you're really enjoying it at first, and you're like high on the energy of this other person, and it doesn't even have to be sexual energy, it's just their attention. It can be all kinds of different forms of attention, sexual or not, and we get these really good feeling hormones from that. But after a period of time, these hormones, you know, we become habituated to them, and then we need to increase. And I think this is why people in relationships, after their certain period of their new relationship energy, as that is being called, they start to become angry at their person who they were, you know, at first this person was like the best, doing all these wonderful things, and then after a while you start to be dissatisfied with them. And I think this is probably more to do with these homeostasis of these chemicals. You know, like basically you just get used to them, and now them doing exactly the same things anymore is not enough, and it needs to increase. But also people become tired and stuff. But anyway, that's just one example. And the other example could be like other drugs, you know, cannabis use. I mean, people who use cannabis know this very well. Like, the first time of the day you take a puff, it's like boom, and then the second time it's like boom, third time, fourth time, fifth time beyond, you're just kind of wasting it because it's not even working. And money's the same. When you take this money and you get $1,000, wow, that feels so good, it feels so good. And then like you spend $1 and you have
or euro, or whatever it is. One of that, and then you have 999, and it's painful. And that doesn't go away if you have billions. I think the bank account is one of those things. It doesn't get full like our stomachs. And I think a person's capacity for desiring power is also the same. There's always room for more, you know. And people don't want to step down from their power. I know I don't. I love to have power. It feels good, you know, irresponsible. To step down from power is like, it's very challenging. And I don't mean this to say that people who have power are bad. I'm not making a value judgment about it, but I am concerned about it because it's like a drug. People who use drugs are not bad. People who have relationships are not bad or good. In fact, people are not bad or good in general. I don't like to think of it that way. I'd rather think of it like, I don't know, doing things that are healthy and unhealthy maybe, or even moving beyond it. People are just people. If we are people even, I don't know. Are we people? Am I a human? What are these labels? But yeah. So, anyway, I'm really appreciative for the nice comments that I got from people who watched my video where I'm talking about what I'm doing. And I think that's really encouraging to me, because I have a lot of things that I could speak about. And I don't want to be a teacher to you. I don't want to tell you how the world is. I don't want to be didactic or proselytizing my beliefs too much, because, well, that doesn't work. I was a teacher for like 8 years of my life, and I know that people don't learn when you try to teach them. People want to have a question, and then they can come to you with the question, and you can give them your answer, and they can develop their own understanding from piecing together different answers from different places. As an autodidact, a self-educating person, and I'm an autodidact. I've been teaching myself things for years. I taught myself how to play guitar. I'm teaching myself how to play Turkish saz. I'm teaching myself different languages, very badly, I might add. And you know, I'm constantly learning things and curious. I'm using curiosity to drive my self-education process. And these are the people I want to speak to, are the people who want to educate themselves. I don't have time or interest really to be your master or teacher, and I don't deserve to be anyone's master for sure, except for my own, which I am. Reluctantly so, I have to be my own master, because every time I ask someone else to be my master, that was awful. And every time I tried to be someone's master, that was also awful. Or if they ask me to be their master, I don't like master or servant modality. I find it to be really uncomfortable. I mean, I'm not even comfortable to be served by someone in a restaurant, unless it's the owner of the restaurant. Then I don't mind. But if it's an employee, I feel really uncomfortable to be served by them, because, you know, it's not their thing, man. When I say man, I mean like human. I don't. What is your gender? It doesn't matter to me. I support you, for sure. So, all my trans friends, hello. Because you're free too. You're figuring out who you are. No one has a right to tell you what you are or what you aren't. These are all just freaking labels. I don't like it. But I also like to say things like guys, but I don't think guys has to be gendered. I feel like people use it in a non-gendered way, not to mean like calling everyone men. But that's a side point. I don't want to be anyone's teacher or boss or master, and I don't want to be anyone's slave or student or subservient, groveling serf. I want to be a free human being, and I think I'm doing a decent job at understanding how to be more free. And I want to share that with people because I think a lot of us have lost hope about that, and we've been educated by an entire system to feel like we don't deserve to be free and that we cannot be free. And the past, I guess, 7 years or so, or even a little bit more, definitely since 2013, or even the end of 2012, you know, when that Mayan calendar reset happened. Wow, it really changed things for me. I didn't notice it at first, but I look back at that time as a very catalytic moment where I never really returned to this state of accepting the status quo that I used to. Well, I mean, I don't know if I ever really did. I mean, I was pretty iconoclastic even as a young guy. I was writing songs about my school being a penitentiary when I was 12 years old. But so, I mean, that's why I'm interested in things like anarchism and voluntarism, mutualism, whatever you want to call it. I really identify a lot with those principles, but not in the sense of chaotic anarchism, which is a complete misnomer. And it's also kind of similar to how conspiracy theorist was created to discredit people, and also how the term hippie was used to discredit people. A lot of people use this word hippie, and they don't realize that hippie was a term that was used for slanderous public relations propaganda campaigns to discredit the counterculture anti-war movement of the 60s, and to discredit all of the diverse types of people who were coming together and sharing music and art and poetry and going for civil rights and going for ending the draft, ending the war in Vietnam and beyond. You know, this was a powerful coalition of super diverse people. This was not a subculture. This was basically threatening to become a dominant culture, so they had to self-culturalize it. So I don't really identify as a hippie myself, although a lot of people call me that, and because I go to camping in the nature and I like to be dirty with the earth, not with nasty chemicals and stuff, but you know, I could be called a dirty hippie. You know, I go to rainbow gatherings, but I'm not a hippie. I'm a free human being, you know, a sovereign being, just like you. I'm master of myself, I'm the king of myself, and no one else. And you can be too, and you are, as long as you realize it. If you don't realize it, and you don't take authority over that, then you can't be helped. But if you realize that, and you free yourself in your mind, well, that's basically all there is to it, I think. You know, it's really a mental thing. I'm not sure what else to speak about in this moment, because it's already getting pretty long. And if you stuck with me till the end, wow, you must like to hear me ramble on. And thank you for giving me your attention. And thanks for all the support from everyone. You know, I couldn't be here without the support from so many people over the years. People who helped me in so many ways. People who gifted me with money and a place to sleep and encouragement and their love and their interest. You know, you all are the ones who are why I'm still here. And so I'm offering these moments for you, really. Like, I want to give something back for all of the things that have been given to me. And, you know, I like to give music, I love to play music for people, but I also like to have these discussions, and I have these discussions a lot with people in my travels, but so far I haven't really done much discussing on the internet. And I think it's because it's a bit scary to release ideas and philosophies and observations on the internet, especially now, you know, with all of this censorship going around. So I'm working on developing some bravery to share what I'm observing, and I want to share what I'm observing in a clear way, and in a way that is kind. And I don't want to call people out, I don't want to judge people, I don't want judging to happen, although everyone's done it and we kind of do it on autopilot, but we can at least not hold the judgment in our hearts. And so I ask that if you've listened to what I have to say, please think about it, and if you disagree, that's cool, let's discuss it, but let's be civil, because I'm tired of all of this argument and this kind of sportsification of the world. I mean, that's a whole other topic we could get into, but not for this time. And yeah, but I really appreciate it if you got to the end of this video. If you like it, there's some more coming, I hope. And you can also check out other videos and other ideas, and not just from me, you know. Let's spread it around. I don't need to be the center of attention. I just have a few things to say, and if you're curious, check it out. Okay, thank you.